Hey yo, it's time to roar, get loud, let's ignite. Jeremy B in the house, we keeping it tight. Every weekday at 11, we ready to ride. Lions Talk Live, come and join the pride. Waking up early, it's that morning grind. Tune in to the show, leave the troubles behind. Jeremy B's the king, with the voice like thunder. Every word he spits, it's a lyrical wonder. Got the lions around, sharp and fierce. When we hear one pride, you can't help but feel your heart pierce. Talking all the topics, keep it real, keep it raw. With a lion's mentality, we're ready for the roar. One pride, it feels right. Jeremy B bringing the heat, morning light. Every weekday at 11, we taking flight. Lions Talk Alive, yeah, we ready to bite. One pride, hear us loud. Jeremy's in the zone, making us proud.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good afternoon. It is Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B. We got Yoli here. And of course, the usual. How's everybody doing today? It is good to see you, Yoli. So, I'm doing fantastic. Brent DeWitt's in the house and Pat Rothwell. Good to see you, brother. I am doing great, Yoli. Thank you so much for asking. How are you doing, sweetheart? So I do have the depth of what our matchups will be for us, for the Lions on the offensive line. For depth behind Sewell, Decker, and Skipper, it's going to be Manu versus Sorsdahl. For behind Ratledge Glasgow at center, it's going to be Kingsley Egekun and Nice. For starting center, it's Glasgow versus Ratledge, and Ratledge is leading right now, according to everything. All I know is Glasgow did good at center when he was out. We didn't lose those 2 games. Oh, got to give it up for Riggy. Mahogany versus Frazier at left guard, and whoever loses between Glasgow and Ratledge will be right guard. Awasika and Mutai is depth for guard behind Glasgow, Ratledge, Mahogany, and Frazier. And according to Jeremy Fowler, the Lions knew early in the offseason that Frank Rangnow was thinking about retirement. He didn't exactly specify what it was, but Detroit clearly wanted Rangnow to stay, but they were understanding. So all of this wasn't a surprise to the front office. That's why we had all these offensive linemen that are multifaceted added to this team over the past couple of years. We saw. Yep, it is going to hurt. They moved us from second to third ranked O-line today. We're still the 3rd ranked O-line. Until anything changes, that's what they say. And that's because of Hank Fraley and his teaching. Oh, yeah. And we saved $9.2 or $9.5 million. It would have cost us $5 million if he retired before June 1st. So everybody needs to think that. So that 9.5, what I think will happen is that one of these teams that has a good center that's in a cap-friendly trade situation at the deadline. They just lowered us from second to third. I'm going by NFL power rankings on O-line. Not PFF, not any of that metric bullshit. I'm just saying they rank us second overall. That's why I think Glasgow ends up the right guard. I think Tate Radledge will win the starting center position. And with his shorter arms, which are almost the exact same length as Frank Ragnow, and he's at that same build, I think it actually will help him. And he did play some center at Georgia. I know everybody's worried, but Motown Mitch is in the building. Yes. But I understand you just worried, but Glasgow did do well at center. And when Mahogany stepped in at left guard, he was our best ranked guard on the O line every game he played, all three, including against Washington. Remember, we didn't have Frank, and everybody's like, oh God, it's gonna suck. Well, it did, but not because it was up the middle. According to your current reports on the morning show, Lions are done and won't have a chance to run the play. Oh, I can't believe it. I have a report from Jeremy Fowler saying that they told him back in February that he possibly wasn't coming back. It's more due to the injuries he suffered. And no, a 7-9 team, that's redonkulous. Now, 2 years ago when Frank got hurt and all we had was Evan Brown, a rookie having to fill in before Glasgow got here, remember that? That was awful. But last couple of years, when Frank was out, we still won games. It is bummer news. It is bummer news. But it's been known. Frank knew. I mean, Brad and Dan knew this was a possibility. It wasn't over contract. It was over his injuries. Him waiting till June 2nd was to save the team money. Think about it. We would have $5 million less than the $43 million instead of adding $9.25 million to it. That's huge. I think it's 9.65 to be exact. But it's time for our daily dose of comedy, which is known as Caleb Williams. I don't think we're in as bad a shape as everybody did. Steve, good to see you, brother. There you go. You can hop in if you want. Is that a corn cob in your mouth, Williams? There it is. Now he's on camera. That's what I was waiting for.
So what's going on?
Not much. Just trying to make people not think that the sky is falling.
Why? Because of Frank Rangnow retired?
Yeah. I mean, I understand it's a blow, but at worst, I think it's a one game less type of win.
So who's going to be the center now?
It's either going to be Tate Ratledge or Graham Glasgow. Hey, Smoking Dad just showed up.
Well, I was watching. What was it? Oh, yeah. I was watching the little thing that Tom Grossi did on that.
Yeah,
And,
it's funny.
yeah, he said it. He said something about he made it about Glasgow, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I was shocked to hear that. I was like, wow, he retired?
How does Maine get home? What time did you leave?
I mean, so how do you feel about that?
I had a feeling it might happen. I even said it. Remember, I said this like 2 months ago before the draft.
Yeah.
And I said, and then we took two guards and one of them that had played center before. Go figure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to read the tea leaves a little better than usual.
So what are Lions fans saying now?
Some of them are saying we're only going to be 7-9.
8-9.
You think? Yeah, they said 7-9 for 16 games, but you know what they meant.
Yeah. Well, I actually predicted the Lions would go 8-9 this year. I think they're going to take a step back.
I don't think so.
No. And I was watching videos on McCarthy throwing. For some odd reason, I didn't like what I saw him throwing.
Who?
McCarthy. I saw videos of J.J. McCarthy throwing the ball at OTAs and all that and stuff, and I was like,
Well, I thought we were a 12 to 13 win team with Frank Ragnow. I think we're an 11 or 12 win team without him. Because the rest of the O-line and everything else is still there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like I'm not, to sit there and be one of them jobbers and trolls that downs teams and whatever. I just think because of the two offensive new coordinators, I just think the Lions will take a step back.
I don't think so.
Well, I could be wrong, but like I said, and when I saw in JJ McCarthy throwing the ball, I didn't know how to take that. I was like, because like what they say in college, he depended on the run at Michigan, and so forth. And my take on this is, now I'm sure he has to practice, he has to build chemistry with JJ and Addison and the rest of the guys and whatever, get the chemistry mechanics down and whatever. He could get better and so forth. But it's just a thing with Minnesota. It's main to be seen. And so forth. But I was shocked. I went on the thing with Tom Grossi, and Frank now retired, and he was like, no, and whatever. And I was like, wow, I didn't know he retired.
Yeah, he just retired yesterday at noon.
I mean, did he have any injuries? Or, I mean, how old was he?
29. 7 years he spent in the NFL. Four of them Pro Bowls, 2 of them All Pros.
Wow, he retired at 29?
Well, let's see. He's had a torn pec. He's had a turf toe. He's had calf injuries. He's had arm injuries. And he has that Liz Frank fracture that they could never repair. He's been playing through that all over the last 4 years.
Now, I don't know if it was last year or the year. I think it was the year before he went out and someone stepped in.
2 years ago. 2 years
2
ago,
years ago?
when we had Evan Brown as a rookie, actually, which would be, let's see, not 2024, not 2023, the 2022 season, when we went 9-8. We only lost, out of those 8 games, 6 of them were where Rangnow missed and Evan Brown had to start. We only won 2 games out of the 8 with Evan Brown starting.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting season. Like I said, I'm excited. I'm pumped up. I like what we have. I mean, on paper, I like what we have. But like I said, I got to see how this team gels together.
What does JA even that for?
And I don't think any, like, I mean, it's going to be, like I said, after we play you guys week 1, we don't play another division foe until week 12. Have you seen main event Mike anywhere?
Yeah, I've had him on here a couple times. He does a show on Monday night. I missed it last night.
Okay.
Monday nights at 7, right here on this network. He goes live.
I have to catch his show one time.
7 Eastern, 6 Central.
I haven't seen Russell on.
Russell's on at 9 a.m. now with Johnny Gav.
Oh, it's 9 a.m. now?
Yeah.
because he started at 9, then he moved it to 10, and whatever. So he must have went back to 9. I mean, is there like any hot news anywhere?
Nothing. Nothing anywhere. Other than the fact that the Tigers and Yankees are the two hottest teams in baseball. The Dodgers are third. As far as I'm concerned, look at their record. It speaks for itself.
Yeah, I'm a Yankees fan.
But right now it's Tigers, Yankees, Dodgers in that order for me. And that's going by record, not by
Yeah.
any other metric than record. Do you disagree with that statement?
It's hard to disagree to that. It is. Like I said, what's the guy name for Detroit? He's whatever, what, Bias?
Yeah, he came back good this year.
They didn't usually know.
Yeah, I've been watching certain videos of OTAs, and I saw Christian Watson. He just warms up and stuff. Tell you what, he looks like he put on some muscle.
Yeah, he does.
Now the big question is it's past June 1st. What are we going to do with Jair Alexander?
Yeah, because the contract talk that broke down.
Yeah. Because if we release him or trade him, we will save like $17 million in cap space if we cut him or trade him. I mean, I think he would love if we cut him. That way he could pick his own destination on where he wants to go. And if he would do that, would he be like, okay, you know what? I'll get even with them. I'll go to Minnesota. I'll go to Detroit. I'll go to Chicago.
Kaylee.
And like, what's Aaron Rodgers going to do?
The two hardest schedules are still at Green Bay, at Baltimore, and I think third is at Philly. I think those are the three hardest games we got.
Yeah, we go. I think Philly comes to our place. I know we go to Baltimore, I believe.
If you can, call me when Jaden wakes up so I can see you before you go to work.
Okay, I will.
Okay, I love you.
I love you, Mom.
Because ain't your first two games division games?
Yep.
See, we play you week 1, then after that we don't see a division phone until week 12.
Man, it's going to be a rough week though, because everybody thinks
Well, people just got to learn to believe. Like we got a bunch of new guys in the
hmm
draft that could really make this team. Then I'm really, really stoked on making this team. Even quite a few of the undrafted free agents. And this is where I get excited about, because you got these new guys and so forth, and like on every team you got guys that are perennial players, but they're getting up there in age and so forth. Like Frank Ragnow. Now he's 29.
Yep, Graham Glasgow's 32.
Yeah. Oh,
No,
he's
I
30.
have not, but I'll look here shortly here, Pat.
Oh, Glasgow's 32.
Yeah, Glasgow's 32. Zietler was 34 last year. Everybody forgets that.
Well, like you said, you got that Ratledge. Lions fans just got to hope what he did at Georgia, he could come in and then what was the guy last year? Mahogany?
Mahogany's been playing at left guard all off season.
Yeah. And he the
Um,
one with the short leg or something? The right leg or something?
that's Mahogany.
That's Mahogany? Okay. Like I said, with guys, I'm stoked. I'm excited. I'm just going to believe and just have to wait and see what happens. Like Baron Sorrell loved the pick in the 4th round, and it was shocking that he was still there in Green Bay. And then what's his name from Georgia? Then Stackhouse, another guy we got a undrafted free agent from Georgia. So like the Eagles, we have a lot of Bulldogs on this team. But I'm just waiting to see what happens with Jair. Like I said, I love, like I said, Michael Robinson, the corner out of Tulane. Like I said, high hopes for him. Like I said, I don't care what everybody thinks because it's a 5th, 6th, 7th round or undrafted Blath. That ain't true. Them are the players that I look at that I could see becoming stars. It's not always those first round picks. But I think picks after in the first round, when they're after 20, the lowest I go is 15, whatever. Them are the ones, whatever. When you pick from 1 to 15, those picks scare me. You guys, the first round pick, was it not an offensive lineman?
Nope, defensive tackle.
Defensive tackle? Okay.
For Leek Williams, because Lee McNeil won't be back till possibly Thanksgiving.
Oh, really?
Oh, no, Mitch Hooker over Love. I love it. He's in here talking that shit.
Mitch is a character. Keep dreaming that, Mitch. And actually, Mitch, I think Love scares you guys. But I think with the way I see with football again, I see the running game coming back stronger than it was before. It was more of a pass happy league. I see the running game's coming back stronger now. And Mitch, if Hooker was love, then I think you Lions fans would be more excited for the backup QB that you guys have. But for the
I think
fact
we're
of,
doing. I honestly, I'm going to fight you back on that because I think we're doing the exact same thing with Hooker that you guys did with Love. Waiting till his 4th year to let him do anything.
okay. So are you saying that this could be the end for golf?
I've been saying that for 2 years now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you know what? That's true. Yeah. Yep. You're right. I'm sorry. You're right. I remember you said that a couple years ago.
Yeah, right when we signed him to the extension, when I was on
Yep.
Russell's show.
Yep. I remember that. Well, what's going to happen? You guys going to cut him, trade him, or will he retire? Or
I don't know what it'll be, but it'll be post June 1st to save money.
how much?
At least $5 million if we do it before June 1st, and up to 20 after.
I'm surprised nobody has tried to take Malik Willis off of us. Like for one, the Saints or Cleveland, Pittsburgh. Mitch, you need to quit skydiving off of curbs.
We will trade Goff to the Packers for 3 first rounds and a second.
Yeah, he
That's
goes.
hilarious. That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
he goes skydiving off of curbs.
I'm going to take a little station break real quick. I need to use the restroom, and it'll give us a break.
Turn it up, it's that time again. Jeremy B. Lyons, he's your best friend. Every weekday, Evan, you know the vibe. He's shouting one ride with that rocket drive. Rolling up the scene, light up that fire. Jeremy's in the booth, taking us higher. With a grin and a laugh, he's got the crowd in a blaze. Smoking out the haters in a rock star haze. The stories that inspire and riffs that will ignite. When one pride echoes, everything feels right. Jeremy B. live every day at 11. Yelling one B ride like we're in rock heaven.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
It's crazy because that's what Kaylee is making.
Yeah.
Oh, what a day. What a day. That's right. It is Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to hear. I had to take my lawnmower in to get fixed.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, it would start right up, and then it would just die. It just kept run, and it would just die. Yeah, but like I said, JB, I'm just excited what's going to happen. Like with Jair, then we're packed with receivers. I don't know if anybody realized how many receivers we got on this team.
I know. You guys got like 7.
7. We got more than 7.
No, I'm not counting UDFAs. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Motown Mitch. I'll keep you in my prayers.
Well, no, we didn't get no UDFA receivers. Well,
You had 2.
I guess you can say that, whatever, because one, we picked up, we went and got the guy that Miami, whatever that, what's his name? Brown. I mean, oh my God, we loaded whatever, like, and the question is what receivers will be gone? I see Dubs getting traded.
Sarah, the link is in the chat if you want to join. Haven't seen you in forever. I know your prep might be working, but it'd be good to see you on here. I missed the Bike Queen. But we got a lot of receivers on our roster too. But in other Lions news, we did cut Gavin Holmes and signed another cornerback, David Wilson, or Devad Wilson, I should say. So Gavin Holmes is gone, the UDFA, and we signed another one. She goes, me working sucks. Working sucks. Loving you, Sarah. You're good. So that's one less cornerback, and added another one. So we still are 7 deep at the cornerback room.
She on what, 2 different accounts?
So we're 7 deep in the cornerback room. We're 8 deep at wide receiver right now. We're 4 deep at tight end, and I think it'll stay that way. One of those will be a UDFA.
Working is life, girl.
Yeah, well, what everybody's afraid, you got these stars and you put them on the practice squad, and then somebody comes in and takes them.
Right, but you can protect 4 of them each week, and each one up to 4 weeks. So what they do is they usually add them in as that 54th man that's free on the roster. That's how they get around this, because you only actively dress 47 guys. There's 6 of them that don't dress, remember?
Right.
Every week. So what we do is we dress some of them and not play them. And that protects them. And that starts their 4-week protected counter over again.
Oh, okay.
That's how we managed to keep all those guys on the practice squad last year for so long. And right now, according to Jeremy Fowler, Dan Campbell, and Brad Holmes, that rookie guard Tate Ratledge is more than likely the replacement center for Rangnow unless he loses the job to Glasgow during the offseason.
So Mahogany's the left guard.
Mahogany will be the left guard, Glasgow the right guard, Tate Ratledge at center, Decker and Sewell on the outside.
Okay, so if Glasgow's center, then who will be right guard? Ratledge?
No. I said Glasgow right guard. Ratledge is center.
But if Glasgow gets center,
and Ratledge will end up being the right guard.
Okay.
They said it's coming down to either one of them for starters. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN.
Because Jenkins is holding out. And I think Sean Ryan has been taking snaps at center.
Like I said, the O-line competitions to watch for backup behind Sewell, Decker, and our swing tackle skipper is Giovanni Manu versus Sorsdahl. For depth behind Ratledge / Glasgow, it is Kingsley Egekun, the UDFA from last year, versus that Mitchell Neese that we picked up. So Glasgow versus Ratledge and for starting center, and whoever loses is the right guard. At left guard, it's Mahogany versus Miles Frazier at starting left guard. And then guard behind all of them is Awasika versus Nitain Mutai. He actually took 3 games worth of snaps at center, is what they said, and he's taken 75% of our first team snaps this offseason so far at center. So you can say that, but Dan Campbell has said it that more than likely right now it's Ratledge unless he loses the job. That's the quote.
So who's like up in front at center? Is it Ratledge right now?
Yes. And so far, Glasgow's best position on any O-line, whether it was Denver's or the Lions, has been right guard. That's where he's had his highest rankings and everything else. He absolutely sucked last year at left guard.
Who sucked at left guard?
Glasgow.
Oh, is that why they moved Mahogany over there then?
Mahogany had to come in because Rangnow missed 3 games total, 2 during the season and the Washington game.
Okay.
I'm just going by what Dan Campbell has said, what every media outlet has said so far. And it's backed up everything I thought. I thought Ratledge would be trained there. I said that immediately.
He reminds me of someone.
Then left guard, yes, but not better than right guard. The year before, he was a Pro Bowl right guard. Left guard, he sucked.
Well, I mean, I know our offensive line, there's some key pieces there because, like I said, Myers is gone, which I'm glad. I don't know what Jenkins is holding out.
Right.
Whatever.
Contract.
Yeah, and so forth. But I'm still liking the way our offensive line is shaking up. Now, that's on paper. That's all on paper. I mean, we get some big guys on this offensive line. Like Banks, the guy from San Fran, he's a big guy. The guy, Anthony Beckton, we drafted from NC State, he's, 6'6", 316. And I think the other one from Cincinnati. But I'm liking the way our offensive line is shaking up, but I still have to wait to see how it's put together. I love our running back core with Jacobs, and I'm hoping and expecting big things from Marshawn.
Yeah, the only thing you can hope for Marshawn is that he stays healthy. He didn't do that last season. If he doesn't stay healthy, then year 3 will be his make it or break it year, like every other guy that gets injured in their first 2 years.
Yeah.
But if he can stay healthy, you might have a solid power back. Because that's what he's slated as, right? Wasn't he more of a power back? A between the tackles guy. He wasn't the one with the speed around the edge, is what I'm getting at. That's your traditional power guy, the one that powers through the middle of the line.
I mean, I think we got a great tight end in Tucker Kraft. I think he could be another, I hate to put him in that apartment yet of saying Gronkowski and them guys like that, but I love what I'm seeing from Tucker Kraft.
I like Kraft better than Schoolcraft, and you drafted him later. And I'm talking about Kraft. You drafted Schoolcraft in the 2nd. I think Tucker Kraft was the 4th, if I remember right. Maybe even the 5th. It was one or the other.
You mean Musgrave?
Or Musgrave. I meant Musgrave, yeah.
Musgrave we drafted first.
Right, in the 2nd round, and you drafted Kraft either in the 4th or 5th round. I can't
4th.
remember, but it was the 4th, okay.
Yeah, 4th.
And Tucker Kraft is way better. Musgrave can barely stay on the field.
Right.
I mean, Kraft has had minor injuries that kept him out for a game or 2 each season, but nothing major, not injury prone. Whereas Musgrave missed the first 4 games of the season before he even got a chance to get on the field?
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, yeah, he got on the field versus us, didn't he, for the first time in full pad?
Yeah. So the offense, except for the offensive line, we just got to see how that gels together. Other than that, I ain't worried about our offense. Now there's the dropsies, but you know what? That's last year. Everybody just needs to forget about what happened last year. That's done. That's over with. Forget it. Forget
Unless
it.
unless it continues, because the year
Well,
before that you were third in the league in drops.
yeah.
So it's a trend with all the other receivers, but Golden and the other guy, Savion Thomas, right? Isn't that his name?
I'm thinking about jumping in my car, driving up to Green Bay, going to the whatever, and get the receiver and say, "Come here, let me teach you guys something." No, seriously, because when I played ball back in the day, one thing that I learned to do is take that ball and you just smack the hell out of it. Just keep smacking that ball.
Or just do what JMO and Amon Ra does at the end of practice every day: catch 100 balls out of the jag with
Yeah,
one hand in each hand.
yeah.
Amon Ra does 101, JMO does 100.
Well, I'm excited for Golden. I think he's going to be our St. Brown.
He's everything that all the other receivers is not. And
Right.
I know I'm saying that right. The only thing he isn't is tall. If I
Right.
remember right, isn't he only like 6 foot, 6'1"?
Well, see, this is the now. You know, I love the receivers we have. I love Watson, Reed. I do like Dontavian Wicks.
And Romeo Dobbs.
Nah, Dobbs, I'm not high on. I mean, I have no hate. There's no
When he
hate.
when he's on the field, he does good. The problem is him staying on the field. He's another
Right.
one. Same with Watson. Watson is great when he's on the field,
Right.
but at the same
Well,
time, all 4 of those guys combined for 44 drops last year.
well, see, last year Dobbs also had some other issues and injuries and stuff and whatever. It's like he was upset because he wasn't, the number one receiver.
Right. But at
You
the
know,
same time, he didn't lead the team in drops. That was your leading receiver. And
you
Jaden
know,
Reed, because he was targeted so much, he did
right.
have more drops.
I
And
mean, because
that's to be expected if you're
but like I said, if you're going to be on the team, no matter what, be proud that you're there.
right.
Just be proud that you're there, and do what you like. Like you hear these guys in the draft. I'm just here to help the team win. But then the time comes out, they get this attitude or something, whatever. If you're going to still have an attitude, whatever, and you're going to have an attitude in the locker room, I don't want you here.
Right. I get it.
Because like back in the day when we had Donald Driver, Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson, James Jones, those guys were like brothers. They gelled together. They didn't care who got the touchdown, who got the most passes or whatever.
It's
They
kind
was
of like
happy for each other.
that camaraderie is what we've got in our wide receiver room now, if you think about it, because you've seen it. They don't give a shit about who gets more touches. They just want to play ball.
And but see, I don't know if I can see that with Dobbs. With Reed and Wicks and Watson, even Bo Melton, even I see. I like Malik Heath. I love Malik Heath because he's a good run blocker. And so forth.
The Daily Huddle just went live because we just lost the Huddle Sports app, but I don't care. We can keep going.
And so forth. And that's the thing. So, like I said, that's another thing that I'm waiting to see what happens. Like, does Dobbs get traded, or what receivers are off the door? Then what happens with Jair? Like I said, I'm really high on this Nate Hobbs we got from Vegas.
Right.
Like I said, Stokes is gone. It was more like a trade because Stokes went to Vegas and Hobbs came to us, but it was more like a trade. And like I said, I'm liking and I think with the new defensive line coach we got in Covington from New England, I'm expecting some bigger and better things. I think I'm looking for big things out of Van Ness this year. I think Covington will get him going with Gary. And I think still the main guy that's going out that might outshine all of them is
Mhm.
going to be Brett. Is going to be Brenton Cox.
Right.
That boy's a freak. And then with these other guys we got, like I said, it's. I'm just waiting to see who makes the team, who makes the 53, 53, who gets cut, practice squad, and who goes elsewhere. And
You're the same as us. We're still waiting to see who the final is. We know who our 43 is. We don't know what it is after that. I would have said 44, but with Ragnow out, there's one in question, correct?
yeah. Now, will they go after another offensive lineman or another position?
No, I don't think so. I think the only way we end up getting another guy is if it looks like it's an utter failure and it'll be just before the season or it'll be at the trade deadline. That's it. I don't think we're making a move for another offensive lineman right now.
Well, like I said, it's going to be really hard to say who's going to take the division this year.
It is. It is up for grabs, and I said that. And I think number one is going to have 12 wins, and the bottom one's going to have 8, maybe 7 at worst. I've said that how long now, Steve?
No, a long time. I remember you saying it.
I've been every
me.
time I've had somebody on, I make sure that I said I'm not even putting an order right now, but if I had to, I'm going to go Lions, Packers, Vikings, Bears. Because we don't know what you got in J.J. McCarthy. We know that Love is what he is. We know that right now, statistically, over the last 4 seasons, Jared Goff is the best quarterback in the division because Sam Darnold's gone, right?
Well, then there's the Bears. Like, is Ben Johnson a head? Is he just a offensive coordinator, or can he be a head coach?
Right.
Like what's
Yeah, that's the question mark with them. And I've said it. That's why I put them in the basement still.
what the Bears?
Yeah. I
Because
mean, we gave them the keys 2 years ago and haven't given it back, or 3 years ago now and haven't given it back.
Because now both the Bears and the Vikings have both redid their offensive line.
Right. But that doesn't mean they're going to be that much better right off the rip. There's growing
Right,
pains.
right,
When you got
right.
new head coach, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, all of it at once, there's always a learning curve.
How many guys from the Lions coaching staff left? I know they lost their 2 coordinators. Did anybody else from their coaching staff leave from Detroit?
Exactly.
I know they got that Johnny Morton.
We got
From
Johnny
Denver.
Morton, who is actually here in the beginning of the 2022 season,
Right.
and left after the playbook was built with Ben Johnson and Goff to go to Tampa, who then left to go to Broncos and is now here.
Okay. Now, who else did the Lions lose besides
We lost Aaron Glenn,
Aaron Glenn?
and we lost our defensive line coach to Mike Vrabel and the Patriots.
That's right. Okay.
But we picked up the guy from Tampa Bay that was buddies with Johnny Morton to be our D-line coach that made Vita Vea because he stayed through 3 coaches. This guy.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but that's our D-line coach right now. We promoted Kelvin
Yeah, because
Shepard from line.
I was hoping we was going to get him.
Right, and we promoted Kelvin Shepard from linebacker coach to DC, which is another thing I said would happen if Aaron Glenn left.
Now he was a linebackers coach.
He was
Shepard?
He was our linebackers coach and passing game coordinator, or a running game coordinator, the entire time on defense. And we've had one of the best run defenses in the league for 3 years running now? Not saying the
I
best,
have no
one
idea.
of the best. We were 10th one year, 8th one year, and then I think we were first last year. First or third.
Okay.
So that doesn't change because he's still the same guy, right?
Mm-hmm. Like, well, yeah. Well, like I said, that's what's made to be seen. See, there a lot of the team out of the 4 teams, the Lions, Vikings, and Bears have somewhat big, significant changes. The only
And I
team
think
that really didn't is the Packers.
the biggest change with the Vikings was quarterback.
Yeah.
The biggest change with us as offensive coordinator, I don't think the defensive is as much of a change
Okay. But
because we still got the secondary coach, Deshae Townsend. We still got the Brian, whatever his name at safety coach.
and the Bears, that's all new, I believe.
100% new coaching staff, top to bottom, new offensive lineman, new learning a new scheme. You know, it's not all cut and dry that they're going to be great. I'm not saying they're going to be bad. I think they're going to be better than last year. I just don't think they're going to be as good as everybody expects.
I projected them to go 9-8.
And I said somewhere between 7 and 9 myself.
Because I know they got a lot of talent. I just don't know what to believe in Caleb.
Oh, 100%. Nobody does.
Other than that, Bears have I don't know what to think of their running game. I mean, yes, they still got Swift and Roshan Johnson and whatever, but they didn't,
Well, we did make it an hour, and it's about time for me to do my favorite thing that you hate so much.
Oh, my God. Here we go.
Yes, there we go. And I'm starting with your team first, damn it. Just because I can. F-T-P. Fuck the Packers. The Vikings can get full fun. And fuck the Bears. You know why? Because this comes from Flint, where the water's shit and the tires are good. But I want to thank everybody for watching. Please tune in tomorrow. I will go live probably on time tomorrow because maybe I won't have to do personal things just before I have to get here. But thank you for watching. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. Much love to everybody in the chat. Have a great day, everybody.
You too.
Yeah, yo, it's game time, ain't no messing around. Huddle Sports Network, the best in town. From NFL rumors to the latest trends, we got all your sports, just tune in, my friends. Catch us on Roku, Fire Stick, take your pick. Facebook, YouTube, where the action's slick. Daily shows that drop like a bomb. From 10 to 11, it's Ken and Ken, stay calm. Huddle up, catch the vibe, feel the rush. Get your news, get your fills in the clutch. Over 27 podcasts, we breaking it down. Join the team, Huddle Sports, wear the crown. Live every weekday, it's how we roll. Lions Talk with Jeremy B, we taking a stroll. From 11 to 12, don't miss a beat. We break down the game, make the info sweet. The Daily Huddle Podcast, noon to 1. CST Zone, we're just having fun. Toss your doubts, we bring the facts. Tune into the Huddle.